Hello friends, I am Arpit and I am here with today's analysis. Today is 22nd of August and we're going to deal with three very important topics which are in news. First is India-Japan 2+2 ministerial dialogue. Two ministers from India and two ministers from Japan, that is defense ministers and the Minister of External Affairs of both these countries, they meet for this dialogue and discuss various strategic as well as important issues concerning both these countries. Is Japan the only country with which we have this 2+2 ministerial level dialogue? No. Apart from Japan, we have this with Australia, with USA and Russia as well. Now, we have a 2+2 official level dialogue, means the foreign secretary and the defense secretaries of India and UK, they meet with each other. That is not a ministerial level dialogue, but yes, an official level dialogue. Second is Quad. Quad was in news because it was under discussion in this 2+2 ministerial level dialogue with Japan. It is a grouping comprising of USA, Japan, Australia and India. The idea was mooted by Shinzo Abe in 2007, but India was reluctant at that time to join or to form this particular grouping. But yes, later on in 2018-19, the countries came together and formed this organization. And last is Malaysian Prime Minister's visit to India. This was a remarkable visit because India and Malaysia upgraded their relationship to comprehensive strategic partnership. Strategic partnership is that partnership in which there are multiple dimensions into the partnership, like economic cooperation will be there, technology cooperation will be there, energy cooperation can be there, but most importantly, security cooperation has to be there. Security cooperation means there will be defense trade, there will be military exercises between both these countries, there can be agreements like intelligence sharing agreement or other agreements also. And then we'll come to the MCQs and start. So this India-Japan 2+2 ministerial dialogue, so you can see the defense and foreign ministers of Japan and defense and foreign minister of India, they met. And it was basically called 2+2 meeting because two ministers from Japan and two ministers from India, they were part of this dialogue. So two ministers on behalf of India, that is defense and EAM, meet their counterparts from other country, that is in this case Japan. This particular 2+2 meeting with Japan was held after 2 years, as the last one was held in 2022. It was 8th of September 2022 in the city of Tokyo. Now, does India have a scheduled dialogue mechanism with Japan only, or such a dialogue mechanism with Japan only? The answer is no. India has a 2+2 ministerial level dialogue with the following countries: USA, Japan, Australia. These are also the Quad countries. And of course, Russia, we cannot forget our all-weather friend. With Russia also we have this dialogue. India also has a 2+2 official level dialogue with the UK. Foreign and Defense Secretaries of India and UK, they meet for this dialogue. What was discussed in this 2+2 dialogue with Japan? So in this joint statement, which was released, they discussed Quad and Indo-Pacific. Indo-Pacific is basically this entire region, the western coast of Americas and the eastern coast of Africa. This is Indian Ocean, this is Pacific Ocean. And this particular region where Japan and Southeast Asia is called as the heart of Indo-Pacific. And unfortunately, in the heart of Indo-Pacific, China is doing a lot of activities, as South China Sea is this, as you can see. So Quad and Indo-Pacific, they talked about this because there is this convergence between India and Japan with respect to China in the South China Sea or the Indo-Pacific region. In a joint statement, both countries reaffirmed their commitment to advancing the Quad. Quad is an organization which was formed for the Indo-Pacific only. As you see, the member countries, that is India, Australia, Japan and USA, they are forming, and this region where this Quad is functioning or is active is this heart of Indo-Pacific. In the joint statement, ministers highlighted their common strategic vision towards free and open Indo-Pacific. Free from dominance of any country, and any country you can understand which country, and open means open for trade for all the countries, means trade should not be restricted for any countries because of this very important strait over here, that is the Malacca Strait, which is the world's most busiest trade route. This one is here in this region. They reaffirmed the importance of multilateral defense cooperation as well in this region. This multilateral defense cooperation is what? Quad. They talked about space and cyber cooperation as well in this particular dialogue, which is, I would say, an emerging field. Root out terror safe havens. Both these countries are concerned about international terrorism, and terror safe havens like Pakistan, Afghanistan, they have to be tackled. In the joint statement, the two countries unequivocally condemned terrorism. The statement also called for bringing the perpetrators of 26/11 Mumbai terror attacks, Pathankot, and other terror attacks to justice, because we have tabled multiple resolutions in the United Nations Security Council, and those resolutions were for labeling those kind of terrorists who were involved in 26/11 or such kind of attacks as global terrorists. But China has not let those resolutions get passed. So basically, we want to bring those perpetrators to justice. That is why we adopted this. It also called for concerted actions against UN listed terrorist groups including Al Qaeda, ISIS, Lashkar-e-Taiba, Jaish-e-Mohammed, and other proxy groups. Statement also underlined the need to root out terrorists' safe havens, eliminate terrorist financing channels, and halt cross-border movement of the terrorists. Infiltration and all is done by this only. Then next was Unicorn. This is the most significant. Unicorn basically stand for Unified Complex Radio Antenna, which has to be deployed on the warships. This antenna is developed by Japan and used by Japan in its warships. And we want that technology from Japan. The Japan's Unicorn naval communication antenna were also discussed during the 2+2 ministerial meeting on Tuesday. It will accelerate the discussions on the transfer of Unicorn, the cutting-edge naval communication antennas for warships. What is the ability of Unicorn? Its ability is to integrate multiple antennas is set to enhance a warship's stealth capabilities. So, we need that from Japan. And Japan's increasing focus on military development now onwards will make us be more and more, I would say, deeply integrated with Japan when it comes to defense products. I think Unicorn is just the beginning. Exercise Veer Garjan. So during the talks, Kihara cited Japan and India's first joint fighter jet exercise as a step in the right direction. And this exercise was this Veer Garjan 2023. It started. Japan Air Self-Defense Forces participated in it, and on behalf of India, Indian Air Force obviously participated in this Veer Garjan 2023. And you can click on this link. You will land up on the Ministry of External Affairs of Japan, and you can read the joint statement issued by both these countries after this 2+2 dialogue was over. Now, this organization, this grouping Quad was in news because it was under discussion, or one of the most, I would say, important discussing points under discussion in this 2+2 ministerial level dialogue between India and Japan. So, what is Quad? First of all, member countries of Quad: India, Australia, USA, and Japan. Now, Indo-Pacific is home to more than 64% of global population. This organization is of the Indo-Pacific. So, Indo-Pacific is basically complete Indian Ocean plus complete Pacific Ocean. So, this entire region, if I consider 64% of the global population stays here, it contributes 60% of the world's GDP. About half of the global trade happens through the maritime trade routes in this region. So, this is there, and maritime region trade route is Strait of Malacca in this region. Now, what is basically the aim of Quad is to ensure a free and open international order based on the rule of law in the Indo-Pacific. There are two keywords over here: free and open. Free from dominance of any country and open for trade for all the countries. So this is the aim. Objectives. The list of objectives was, I would say, small. It has now enhanced. Maritime security, it was there right from the very beginning. Combating COVID-19 crisis was added later on, especially vis-a-vis vaccine diplomacy. Addressing the risks of climate change, added later. Creating an ecosystem for investment in the region, it was there. Boosting technological innovation, it was there. So these are the objectives of Quad, and these list of objectives can increase or get altered in the times to come as well. Evolution of Quad. How did this organization evolve? Actually, there's a story to it that in 2004, there was this tsunami in the Indian Ocean region. This tsunami basically led to a lot of destruction in this region. And then four countries, Australia, Japan, USA, and India, came together for reconstruction and rehabilitation purposes, or redevelopment, I would say, activities in this region. And this gave the idea to the Japanese Prime Minister of that time, and he, for the very first time in 2017 or 7, mooted this idea कि भाई there we should form a grouping named as Quad. So this is the story of evolution following the Indian Ocean tsunami. This was there, first mooted by Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe in 2007. But Chinese resistance was there because Chinese knew that this organization is going to be against us. And hence there was reluctance also shown by India at that time because our relationship with China was growing at that time. Later during 2017 ASEAN summits, all four members rejoined negotiations and revived the quadrilateral alliance. This quad was upgraded to the ministerial level in September 2019. Means ministers of these four countries will be meeting regularly. Which ministers? External affairs ministers. So this has been the evolution of quad. And now the last piece of news, that is Malaysian Prime Minister visits India. So you can see the Malaysian Prime Minister over here. He has visited India, and one of the key outcomes of his visit was that India and Malaysia's partnership has now been upgraded to comprehensive strategic partnership. Strategic partnership is that partnership in which there are multiple dimensions of partnership or multiple dimensions of cooperation. Economic cooperation will be there, technological cooperation can be there, energy cooperation can be there. But most importantly, any partnership will be called as a strategic partnership if security cooperation is there. That has to be the compulsory component. Security cooperation means there will be defense trade, there will be exercises between the militaries, there will be, other agreements like logistics agreements and all, intelligence sharing agreements and all. So India and Malaysia started their strategic partnership way back in 2010. In 2015, there was an upgrade to their strategic partnership, and in now 2024, there's another upgrade, and it is now called as comprehensive strategic partnership. Now, history of the ties. Diplomatic relations with Malaysia started in 1957. In the 1960s, the relationship with between the two countries was notably strong during the 1960s, which was facilitated by personal friendship between Indian Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru and Malaysian Prime Minister Tunku Abdul Rahman Putra. Recent initiatives. PM Abdullah Badawi, who was the Prime Minister from 2004 till 2009, under his leadership, Malaysia actively worked to enhance relations with India through various initiatives. PM Dato Seri Mohammad Najib Tun Abdul Razak, his tenure also saw efforts to strengthen bilateral ties with India. People to people relations, we have a significant amount of Indian diaspora living over there. Approximately 2.75 million persons of Indian origin are living over there. Enhanced strategic partnership. It was the first upgrade to our strategic partnership. From 2010, it was strategic partnership. In 2015, it became enhanced strategic partnership from November 2015. And now it has become comprehensive strategic partnership. Comprehensive strategic partnership means we are expanding the number of domains in which we are integrating with each other. And in each domain, we are going more and more deep. Like for example, economic integration, so our trade has increased to around $20 billion with Malaysia. Now, key events during this particular visit of the Prime Minister, he got a ceremonial reception. Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim was given a ceremonial welcome at Rashtrapati Bhavan and paid respects at Rajghat. He was in meetings with the Prime Minister, President Draupadi Murmu, External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Shankar. Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim also addressed the Indian Council of World Affairs, and he also met the leader of opposition, Mr. Rahul Gandhi. Multiple MOUs were signed covering areas such as recruitment, Ayurveda, digital technologies, culture, tourism, and financial services. What were the key outcomes of this particular visit? The first key outcome was our partnership was upgraded and it has now become comprehensive strategic partnership. The leaders agreed that enhanced strategic partnership established in 2015 has evolved into a comprehensive strategic partnership reflecting deepening bilateral engagements across various sectors. Number of sectors are also increasing and the partnership in the existing sectors have further deepened. That is why comprehensive we are using this word over here. Economic and trade relations. Trade volume, it is $19.5 billion. I said $20 billion, roughly the same. Both leaders urged for continued growth in trade and investment, supported by high-level CEOs forum. And currency swap means in local currencies also trade is possible among them. Investment, growing bilateral investments were welcomed with encouragement for cooperation across multiple sectors. ASEAN India trade. So this country, that is Malaysia, is part of ASEAN, that is Association of Southeast Asian Nations. There are 10 countries in ASEAN. Malaysia is one of them. And with ASEAN, we have a free trade agreement, which is called as ASEAN India Trade in Goods Agreement, ASEAN India Trade in Services Agreement. So we definitely talked about it. Both sides agreed to expedite the review of ASEAN India Trade in Goods Agreement and strengthen supply chains. Digital and technological cooperations. There were, I would say, MOUs signed for formation of a Malaysia-India Digital Council, was encouraged to boost collaboration in areas like 5G, quantum computing, cyber security. Startups also, basically, we need to collaborate on this. Discussions between Startup India and Cradle Fund of Malaysia will continue. Defense and security, both leaders reaffirmed the importance of defense cooperation and agreed to enhance collaboration through regular dialogues, exercises, and research and development. And as per our Act East policy, we are into a strategic partnership with ASEAN also, ASEAN region. So, ji, Malaysia is definitely part of it. So, definitely we are going for military exercises and all also with them. Terrorism and organized crimes, definitely that needs to be tackled. Higher education and capacity building. Malaysia welcomed 100 seats under India's ITEC program for training in cyber security, AI, and machine learning. New initiatives, establishment of the Ayurveda chair at University Tunku Abdul Rahman and the Valuvar chair of Indian Studies at University Malaya was discussed. They were discussed, but yes, they can be in the future. Climate change and sustainable energy. This is something which the entire world is grappling with right now. Because of this, a lot of disasters have increased. And seeing the location of Malaysia, yes, it is also prone to such kind of disasters, which are known as climate induced disasters. So there was talk about this as well, and there was talk about Malaysia being inducted in the International Big Cat Alliance. Big cats are basically leopards or cheetahs or I would say tigers, and I would say uh, jaguars. These are the big cats, and there's this International Big Cats Alliance, which aims at conserving all these big cats. India is part of it, and we're talking about Malaysia to be part of it. Tourism and people-to-people exchange, visa regimes. The relaxation of visa regimes was not noted with a focus on increasing tourism flows, and India will designate 2026 as the Visit Malaysia year. And last, international and multilateral cooperation. We talked about UN reforms and we wanted to gather the support of Malaysia for the UN reforms, especially when we talk about expanding the United Nations Security Council's permanent membership. Now talking about the MCQs. The first question, which of the following ministers are part of the 2+2 dialogue? Very simple. I'm not going to read out the options as well. But yes, these kind of questions are asked at times and you need to be aware, not overconfident. With which of the following country India has a 2+2 ministerial dialogue? Australia, France, UK. So 1 and 3, 1 and 2, only one, all of the above. Correct answers are expected. Consider the following statements and mark the correct one. Quad was conceptualized in the aftermath of tsunami of 2004. The idea of Quad was mooted by USA for the very first time. Only one, only two, both 1 and 2, neither 1 nor 2. Fourth, consider the following statements with respect to India, Malaysia ties and mark the correct one. Diplomatic ties between them were established in 1962. Both share a comprehensive strategic partnership. Only one, only two, both 1 and 2, neither 1 nor 2. And last question, which year is designated as Visit Malaysia year by India? 2024, 2025, 2026 or 2027? Now the answers to the MCQs of yesterday. Now a supermoon occurs at which of the following conditions? Apogee, when moon is the farthest from earth? No. Perigee is the correct answer. Either apogee or perigee? No, it is specifically at perigee. Neither apogee, neither perigee. This is also wrong. So B is going to be the correct answer. Second question, consider the following statements and mark the correct one. A super blue moon is bigger in size than a full moon. Yes, it is 14% bigger in size. A blue moon is a situation when a full moon is seen twice in a month. Yes, this statement is also correct. So C is going to be the Right answer. Third, consider the following statements with respect to water spouts and mark the correct one. Water spouts occur only in tropics. This is wrong. It mainly occurs in tropics, but it can happen elsewhere as well. Likewise, this particular, I would say, water spouts occurred in Italy, Sicily, which claimed the lives, and that is not in the tropics. Water spouts have become frequent due to climate change. Yes, because they are called as tornadoes of the waters, and tornadoes means cyclones. So cyclones are becoming more and more due to climate change, or increasing more and more due to climate change. So only two is going to be the correct answer. Which state in India has the highest number of Ramsar sites? This is a very direct and easy question. The answer is Tamil Nadu with 18 sites. Second highest is Uttar Pradesh with 10 sites. And last question, consider the statements and mark how many of them are correct. India signed the Ramsar Convention at its inaugural session. Inaugural session was in 1971 and India became part of it in 1982. So this statement is wrong. More than half of Ramsar sites, 85 are the total number of Ramsar sites in India, have been added in the last 10 years. Last 10 years, if I see 2014 onwards, and 59 have been added 2014 onwards. So this statement is correct. Tawa Reservoir is the latest addition in the Ramsar sites list. Yes, it is in Madhya Pradesh. So two statements are true out of this. And with this, we've come to an end of today's session. I will be seeing you tomorrow now with more such informative news pieces. Till then, you guys very well know what to do. I'm not repeating it today. Namaste. Jai Hind.